Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lawful Stupid RPG, home of the socially ambitious Neo-Otyarg. Otyargs like poop. They can't help it. Stop judging them. It's Thursday, which means it's time for some advanced Dungeons & Dragons, courtesy of the Erroth campaign and episode 3 of The Sundered Crown. But Erroth isn't the only show on Lawful Stupid. Tomorrow is our Friday one-shot, run by Tis, going live at 6 p.m. Eastern or 11 p.m. UK. And Saturday is the awesome Hemlora, streaming at 7 p.m. Eastern or midnight UK time. And our newest campaign, Pantheon, set in a fantastic version of the ancient world, is now set to launch on the 10th of April, also in the Friday slot. Be sure to join our Snot Goblin army on Discord and observe our social media shenanigans on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Reddit, and all the usual places. Okay, I am Mark, your kind and generous dungeon master, as always. And if you're sitting comfortably, I'll begin. Returning home to Fort Vallandor, your priestess, Bellis, accidentally released a demon from within the Eye of Kalax. You hunted it down through the fortress's catacombs while the fiend sated its appetite for mortal blood. In the end, it fell to sorceress Shanta Flare to return the demon to its prison by invoking the name of Demogorgon, Prince of the Abyss. But even as the demon was defeated, malign forces gathered to topple House Vallandor. Its lord was murdered by his own wife. And now you must decide where your loyalties lie. With the doom of Vallandor at hand, will you be its saviors or its executioners? We begin in darkness. The kind of darkness that only elven eyes can pierce. Pagan Quell crouches in the gloom by the cisterns of Fort Vallandor. Hagen, you've been waiting here for some time, knowing that the assassin, whoever it was who placed the crossbow and the poison bolts in the alcove in the stairs, must return soon. The water is cold around your ankles, the gloom oppressive, but you pay it no heed. Your quarry will come. The hours pass, and eventually you hear a soft sloshing noise. Someone moving through the water. Someone being a little bit careless. A figure comes into view. You recognize the horns and heavy wrapped blanket of Shanta. She spots you and kind of shuffles through the darkness and squats down at your side.
What are you doing?
What you doing?
Get down and stay quiet. He kind of reaches up and grabs a sleeve or something, tries to pull her down. I am conducting a stakeout.
Okay. Can I join you?
All right. Just promise me you'll stay quiet.
Okay, I can do that. So how long are we going to be sat here for?
until the person we're waiting for comes.
Who are we waiting for?
An assassin. Someone set up a little hideout across the way here. I'm waiting for them to return to it.
Ooh. Okay. It's kind of wet down here. It's not very.
Yes, that's a common feature of cisterns.
Do you want to sit somewhere else or something? This can't be comfortable.
I thought you said you were going to be quiet.
Sorry.
It's fine. Don't you have anywhere else to be?
She's just gonna start like twiddling her thumbs, wrap the blanket around her, and just kind of start playing with the water, just making like little ripples.
Is there not somewhere else you could go? You could go play with Avil.
Avil made me call someone a bad name.
Yes, he did.
I
All right.
The camera then pulls back on the two figures huddled in the darkness together. Shanta occasionally sloshing with the water. Hagen trying very hard to keep his cool. We begin in light. Torchlight. It lines the hallways of Fort Vallandor as Avil and his brother, Aldrich,
Don't.
go in search of Galric. You've been a little bit concerned about him already. Strange utterances made suggest that there could be some danger that he's in. And so the two of you have gone to seek him out. You make your way together through the passageways of the fortress toward Galric's rooms. There's little to no sign of any guards, which is unusual in and of itself. And eventually you find yourselves at the doors to Galric's chamber.
I softly knock on the door.
There's no reply.
Galric, are you inside?
Maybe he's asleep?
I knock a little harder. Galric, open
Again,
the door.
Nothing. There's a curious smell coming from the room.
Do you smell that?
Yeah.
A sort of
Smells,
hot coppery tang.
I draw my short sword, and with the other hand, I open the door carefully. If I can.
The door isn't even on the latch and just swings open.
I look around.
yeah.
Stepping into the room, there's low candles have clearly been burning for some time. Of Galric, there's no sign.
What's causing the smell?
You follow your nose. It appears to be coming from a pot of incense burning just by the balcony door. The smoke mingling with the aroma of the scorched metal, filling the room with this strange scent. A footstep scrapes behind you. You turn and see a shadow silhouetted in the doorway.
Who is it?
Oh, Galric, is that you?
We begin in shadow. The shadow of Talora's chapel. Bellis, the eye of Kalax, floats at the bottom of its font of holy water. Talara looks over the edge of the rim and scrutinizes the artifact glistening deep in the bottom of the pool. Well, Bellis, she says, I can confirm your suspicions. It requires the touch of a tiefling's hand to operate, or anyone with fiendish blood. You did the right thing to liberate it from Highthorn.
I should have been more careful.
If House Mordath had gained possession of this, finding a willing tiefling would not have proved difficult for them.
No. No, that's true.
You need to up your volume a bit there, Carl. She turns to you, Jadarian, where you sit in silence on the opposite side of the small chapel. Master Elf, the vision you were granted when Chanticleer looked into the eye, it rang true for you?
Parts of it, yes. Some of it I didn't know. Some of it my past, maybe.
But you believed it to be true sight.
Well, it led me to these chambers. And clearly Aldrich's father knew who my mother was.
Oh, he was not the only one.
You
When
knew
this
her?
matter of the eye is dealt with, I will tell you all I knew about the Lady Camanthalia.
Thank you. Leave shivers hearing his mother's name again.
I met her, and we spoke. She was a woman of some wisdom and considerable grace.
Do you believe that she's still alive?
She is one of the elven kind. Unless she has met with disaster upon her road, then she lives. But who knows what dangers the darkness conceals?
I agree.
Speaking of which, Hagen, finally, on the far side of the cistern, a figure slides into view. Cloaked heavily, cowled hood pulled down to obscure their features. He moves almost silently. No sloshing from this one. Comes to the edge of the stairs, with a practiced hand reaches down and slides a stone out. Feels inside the alcove and then pulls it loose, realizing that nothing is there. Looks around, puts the stone back, and then turns and scurries swiftly and quietly up the stairs.
Hagen tries to follow just as quietly, keeping low.
Okay.
Hagen, I really like when if you touch the wall. Where are you going?
Shh.
Nice.
And she'll just kind of try and follow behind as stealthily as she can.
Shanta, you can see Hagen's feet moving through the water, but they don't make a sound. They barely make a ripple. He moves, gliding like a ghost across the surface of the cistern, barely seeming to tread upon the shallow, scummy waters that line its bottom, and then up the stairs with you padding in his wake. Hagen, the figure, moves through the lower halls and up toward the residential wing. You follow a corridor or so behind, popping your head out to see where the figure is going, hanging back far enough so as not to be noticed. Eventually they make their way by little-known passageways to the quarters of Lord Talric and the Lady Izaldia.
Does the figure look like a man or a woman?
There is a broadness to the shoulders, a heaviness to the stride, and every now and then a glimpse of stubbled chin that makes it pretty likely it's a man. You could possibly get close enough to eavesdrop.
Yes, I definitely want to do that.
Okay, well, it's a risk of discovery, but you slide closer to the door of the Lord and Lady's chambers and hear muted voices within. Aldrich and Avel, the figure in the doorway, steps forward, breaking the silhouette. It is perhaps not surprisingly Galric. He stares at you both, and then at the sword in your hand. What the ruddy hell are you doing, Aldrich? Avel?
Nothing. We were looking for you, actually. Where have you been? Do you not know that we were fighting some... What even was it? A demon monster? I'm not sure.
We were worried about you.
Yeah, I heard there was some to do. You acquitted yourselves quite well, I understand. The men were full of talks of your daring do and...
Can I scrutinize his face to see if there's any kind of unusual reaction?
He looks a little drunk. His cheeks are red. His eyes are slightly glazed. He's not wearing his armor. His shirt is kind of open. You think you can see a hickey.
For God's sake.
Well, you were expecting someone else than me, he says. You know, you can put the sword away.
I sheath the sword.
Oh.
Yes, but where were you in all of this? May we ask, brother?
Well, I was, if you must know, I was in the water garden. You know, the stable master's daughter. Well, I mean, it's a little bit above and below stairs, but
Lord in heavens.
I walk up to him and place a hand on his shoulder. It's like, it's good to see that you have your priorities straight, brother. Give him a little shove into the room as I walk away.
You know, I can never tell if you're joking. With Avel, it's easy. He's always joking, but I suppose thank you for looking out for me.
Yes. We almost died while you had your bits in some wench's hand.
Not just a hand, I can tell you that for nothing, brother.
Okay, you know, I think we've had our little reunion. We can tell that you're you know,
I walk away.
having a good time. Oh, Aldrich, no, hold on, wait for me. Don't leave me in the room with him. And then
As
I
you start to
follow
walk
after.
away, somewhere across the citadel, you hear a bell starting to ring. In the chapel itself, Talora's head comes up. It peels slowly, long, loud, rhythmic pulses.
Do I know what this means?
Bellis, her eyes lock with yours.
Oh, sorry.
That bell rings for one thing only. She looks down at the eye. The demon was contained. I am sure of it. She walks to one of the windows and looks out as if she could see the bell and somehow gain an answer that way. Then who? Hagen, your ear is pressed to the door. You hear the Lady Isolde's voice. When I paid good gold to employ an agent of the Silent Chalice, I expected results, not discovery. A man's voice, you've never heard it before. My lady, no common or noble castleborn should have been able to uncover my cache. You want my opinion? There's an operative of a rival cabal here in your fortress. You might ask yourself who else has assassins on their payroll. Indeed. Then I have a good idea of who it is who discovered you. I will make amends. No, her voice cuts him off. There's no matter. I have taken care of the issue myself. And in that moment, the bell starts to ring. Well, what is that? The man says. That is the Death Watch bell, Lady Isolde replies. It tolls when the Lord of Vallandor falls. You see, your work has been done for you. And all across Vallandor, the bell rings out, signaling the end of Talric, Lord of the House.
Hagen's
The
heard
word-
enough. He leaves the door. Sorry.
Pardon, say again?
Oh, I was saying that Hagen has heard enough. He immediately leaves the door and goes
Yeah.
report.
Chanter, who probably heard nothing, just waited behind Hagen. See, who hear the bell, see Hagen going.
Is it lunchtime or something?
He puts
Kind
a
of a
hand on his
slight
shoulder.
smile.
Come quickly. We have to move.
Okay.
And she'll slosh through.
Okay.
I go charging to the hall.
The camera tracks slowly up from his feet, clad in funeral robes. Across his chest, where pale hands are folded. And to his face, where now Bone Mother Talora, with careful hands, lays the damp plastered cloth of a death mask across the face of Lord Vallandor. Bellis, with sponge in hand, you wash the corpse's hands and feet. And from the side of the room, the Lady Isoldia observes in silence. As you tend to her husband.
I look at the wounds.
Multiple stab wounds in the neck. The clatter of feet and the doors of the chapel opening signal the arrival of the three sons of the house, Galric, Aldric, and Avel. It's been some hours since the bell started tolling. Talric taken immediately to the chapel for preparation. His sons, by tradition, prevented from seeing him until the funeral mask can be laid across his face. To gaze upon the face of your dead father. Strict cultural taboo in Torlek. Galric stumbles, grabs hold of your shoulder, Aldric. Already the tears flooding at his face. And drops to his knees by his father's side. Lays his head unashamedly upon his chest. His cold, dead hands. And weeps like a little boy.
I walk over to the body.
Yep.
And I place a hand on his shoulder. Galric's shoulder, that is.
Yeah. His whole form is just racking, heaving sobs.
I'm not crying, though. I'm not going to waste tears on this man. I look at my mother.
He was found murdered in his bed, she says.
How is she doing?
She looks exhausted, haggard, yet her eyes are bright and sharp.
Does she look saddened?
Isolde almost never looks saddened. The scar across her face prevents that.
I walk over to her. Sorry.
I was walking in the water garden, she says. I should have been with him.
I walk over to her and look at her, grab her by the shoulders.
Her one good eye bores into yours.
And I give her a hug.
She returns it. Her hands gripping you tightly. her head against your ear. My son, she says. She steps back and wipes now a tear away from her remaining good eye. How long will it take you, Bone Mother, to prepare him for burial? Not looking up, Talora continues to work on the death mask. As long as it takes. The rest of the day, at least. The old rituals are slow and demanding. Our guests will be here before then, as Aldius says. At this, Garrett looks up. Guys!
Oh my god, stop crying. And I pat his back. I mean, really, would Father want to see you like this? Man up.
No.
I pass him a tissue from my my many tissue bags.
Thank you. No, you're right. You're right.
Yes, I know.
I must. You're right. What guests, Mother? She regards the three of you all with a calculating eye. Lord Ruthic Mordath is sending envoys to us. Apparently he wishes an end to our feud and has devised a way that will benefit both houses to bring it to a close.
Who else is in the room apart from the three of us and the priestesses?
At the moment, just you.
You would invite that serpent into our house?
It is what your father wanted. We were speaking of this over dinner last night.
And now he's dead.
Well, as convenient as it might be to try and blame House Mordath for that, I think we can look closer to home. Your little tiefling friend and her demon, no doubt, had something to do with this. I think it's no coincidence that one of the Kalian Circle's pets gets out, and then death fills our home.
I look at Bone Mother Talora. How's she taking in this commentary?
She just glances up at you very briefly, cocks an eyebrow.
What do I know? This is just out of... what does Aldrich know of the Lord of the House Mordath?
He is a skilled and cunning warrior, and his cunning is matched only by his aptitude as a diplomat and negotiator. He's easily the same age as Talric was. His principal agent in the world is his daughter, Saltara. Actually, your father almost cut her throat in the most recent border clash between your houses. She's now said to wear a metal gorget perpetually Her voice has never been the same.
And this man wants to make peace. Yeah, right.
Your time spent with the soldiers, I think, is clouding your judgment. The masters of a great house must learn to be skilled across the negotiation table as much as across the battlefield, my son. At any rate, I want all three of you at my side, yes, even you, Avel, when Ruthik's envoys arrive. I leave you time to grieve. At sundown, be in the Great Hall. They're expected to arrive then.
What are we supposed to do?
She turns and walks from the room without looking back.
Wow.
What you always do, Avel. Nothing.
I place a hand on Avel's shoulder. Don't.
I just look down at the floor and the feather in my hat sort of droops in sadness. That's a big oof.
Where... I need to speak with Hagen.
I'm not sure where he is. Search the castle. I better stay with Gulrick for now.
I
He
look
seems to be a little...
I look to one of the servants. Is there a servant in the room?
No.
Outside, perhaps?
Without looking up, Talora says, Hagen will be with us presently. He was occupied on a matter of my instruction.
Very well. I guess then there's nothing left to do but to ask you something.
And what is that?
No, Gulrick. Sorry.
Okay. Wrong voice.
Let me finish
What?
my sentence. Gulrick,
Yes.
when we interrupted you in your room, you mentioned that you were in the water garden. With
Yes.
I don't suppose you saw Mother while you were there, did you?
No. And I would hope she didn't see me. Why?
I just think something's up. Something is not adding up.
The water garden is not that big, is it?
No.
Something tells me you would have seen her had she been there.
Well, I was pretty preoccupied, you know. I had my hands full.
Ugh.
Doubtless. But you're not blind.
No. Well, what are you getting at, Aldrich? You always complicate things. I struggle to keep up.
Sure you're not saying that Mother lied to us? I mean, such a kind-hearted woman, she'd never do that.
Oh, no. Father is dead. Mother lied as to her whereabouts during the time of his death. And now we have an envoy coming from the house, our
Rival.
rival house. Something doesn't add up.
You still have a way with words. No, I agree.
Sorry, I'm a little bit flustered by the fact that our father is dead.
Yep. Yeah, that is sad, I suppose.
You know, he was your father too, Avel.
Well, not like he ever treated me as he treated you.
Well, perhaps if you'd given him more reason to, he might have.
I gave him all the reason in the world. I was a healthy son. What more could he want from me?
Garrett looks you up and down.
You know what? Don't even say it. I don't want to hear it.
Now's not the time. Not with him lying there, cold.
Don't start.
Forgive
Do
me.
you need another tissue?
No,
Here
I
you go.
don't. No, I don't.
Here you go. No, take it.
I
Come
look
on.
to
Take it.
He snatches the tissue and all but runs from the chapel. Hagen, he pretty much bowls you over at the door as you and Shanta make your way in. Sorry, he says. And blunders past you
Excuse
down the
me.
hallway.
As Hagen comes in, does he see, is the king there?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Lord of the House, yeah.
Sorry, Lord of the House, not king. Sorry.
Not yet.
He
anyway.
wishes he was a king.
Right.
Totally does.
So it's true. Lord Aldrich.
Just the man I'm looking for.
Took the words right out of my mouth. My lord, do you trust me?
I trust you more than most people in this room.
There's only one other person in this room, isn't there? Or is Bellis in here too?
Bellis is
Bellis
busy
and Bone
washing
Mother
his
Talora.
Oh, I see.
All kind
That's
of.
most people.
Shanta's kind of, I guess, at the doorway behind
She's probably-
Hagen.
Yeah,
You have
behind
proven
I
yourself
was
an
about to
honorable
be-
man, Hagen.
I don't know about honorable, but I appreciate your trust. He looks around. What I'm about to say should not be uttered within earshot of others.
I go to the door and close it. Shanta, are you coming in, or are you going to stand there in the hovering in the hallway?
Do you want me in or out? I don't mind.
Just come in.
Okay.
Close the door.
once Shanta notices the body, she'll just give Aldrich a big hug and then the same for Vel.
Pat her.
Oh. Thank you. I hug her tightly too.
My lord, I must ask you to believe what I'm about to tell you, though it will not please you.
Well, spit it out, man.
Your father's assassin was the Lady Isoldia. I fear he was killed by her own hand.
Well, that certainly gels with what I was suspecting.
I look at Bone Mother Talora's reaction to this.
Shoulders sag. These words will get any of us killed if we share them. If this is true and she knows that you know, she will end you.
But
Yes,
how
I'm
can he be so
aware of
sure?
that.
How are you so sure of this?
Because I heard the words from her own mouth. I staked out that little place that we found. Remember it?
The cache in the wall.
Mm.
Yes, there was an assassin staying there. I trailed him back to your mother's room.
I followed. He did do that.
I heard her tell the assassin that she did his job for him.
I crush the wine glass that's in my hand.
Okay. At that moment, you hear at one of the doors to the chapel.
I walk over to it.
Opening the door, you see Jadarian standing there. There's sand on his boots. He's clearly been out in the desert in the afternoon.
My lord,
Well met. Come in.
walk in.
We have some... I closed the door behind him, keeping an eye on the hallway. You didn't see anybody?
No one.
Okay. Hagen, why don't you fill in our elven companion and what you just told us?
Very well. Hagen will... he'll repeat the news to them in much the same manner.
Jadarian won't look that surprised, actually. I have actually heard things about your mother.
Such as?
I heard rumours that she was having an affair.
With the Lord of House Mordath, perhaps?
I have no idea. I have no information on who or when. I just heard stories.
I can confirm that.
Well, she's about to topple this house.
Well, you might want to have a think about whether you are actually wanting to take over this house. Because I have a feeling you need to be very careful what's going to happen to your older brother.
Can you explain?
Your mother had an affair with the leader of House Mordath.
Lord Ruthick.
Lord Ruthick Mardoth. And actually, if I understand my sources correctly, you are actually his son.
What?
That is impossible.
And seeing what is unfolding here right now, this might be her solution to the rivalries between the two houses.
We should go get Gavrik.
No, this is a joke. This is a big elaborate joke.
I will not sit here and have these lies thrown in my face.
You know better than I would lie to you about these kind of things.
I have bled for this house.
I serve this house.
I've had many friends and family fall over the last few days. I don't know what's real anymore, but I don't want to see another life lost, and Gavrik was kind, and I want to make sure he's okay. Because if Bellis is telling the truth, then he's next.
He is kind, child, but his name is Galric.
As if he's not dead already.
He just left.
His life is in danger.
Yes.
Sorry, as Hagen says that, Chanta gives him an evil stare as she doesn't believe him because of what happened with Avel and Bastard the other day.
Hagen.
Lord.
Can you find Galric and ensure his safe return here? Do it quietly.
I always do. I'll return to you when I'm done.
Thank you.
Hagen leaves to go find Galric.
Okay.
I'll come with you, and she'll scurry after Hagen.
All right. The rest of you remain in the chapel?
Yes.
Yes.
There
And
goes the stealth.
I mentioned to Aldrich this information I plucked directly from your mother's mind.
I know. I know it's the truth. And he goes and leans up against a wall.
Shanter and Hagen.
Sorry, just
It doesn't-
before I leave, I will gesture for Jadarian to come as well. Noticing it's like a family thing.
Okay.
I'll look to Ulrich if he wants me to go.
Go.
I'll head off.
He could use your help.
As we leave out, I'll tug on Chanter's sleeve. Let him go up ahead a little further to himself. We'll only give his position away.
Okay.
And
You're probably
we'll follow
right.
behind.
Okay. You find Galric eventually in the Dreaming Water Garden. He's cradling a bottle of wine, sitting, staring at the rippling light of the setting sun and the waters and the lilies of the garden. Hagen a few yards ahead of the others, making sure there's nothing unpleasant lying for you in wait. You pretty much appear out of the gloom. Garrett looks up. Hagen.
Oh, there we go.
Hagen.
Lord Galric.
I
I must first offer you my deepest condolences.
I suppose I am Lord now, yes. Perfect.
Yes, I suppose you are.
Music.
I must ask you to come with me immediately. I'm sorry. Brother Aldrich wishes to speak with you.
Understood. But I'm supposed to be, that is, Mother says that we're having some important guests, and I'm to be sure to be in attendance. And so is Aldrich, actually.
I'm afraid I must ask you to come with me first. You'll just have to show up late.
Well, you're being awfully serious about this.
It is a very serious matter, I assure you.
Chanter will approach Gulric, and if he's got a sleeve or anything, she will just start tugging on it and be like, please.
I'll be standing from afar. Sorry, those of you that haven't got music, you need to refresh.
Oh.
Well, all right. He looks down at the tiefling and the half-elf. Look, all right, but just a few minutes, eh? I'm the lord of the house now, and I've got duties to attend to. Go on, lead on.
All right.
Within a few minutes, you're back in the chapel. Galric coming in sees all of you gathered here. Well, I say this is a...
I grab him by the shirt collar and I push him up against a wall.
Elder, what are you doing?
Listen to me now and listen carefully. Your life is in danger. Do you understand me?
Listen, old chap.
I slap him. Your
Aldrich,
life,
what's gotten into you?
your life is in danger. Now listen to me for once in your life.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Mother murdered father. The men who are coming here from House Mordath are in allegiance with her. They intend to topple the house. You are the next male heir. You are the next target. Do you understand me?
No, you've got it all wrong.
Please enlighten me.
Mother's told me what's supposed to happen.
What's supposed to happen?
I'm not supposed to tell.
Well, I think now's a good time.
Mark, Darren will quickly try and whisk the wine away from him.
Yeah, okay. You nimbly swipe it from his grasp.
I'd like to test it for poison.
Oh, I say.
Focus.
Jadarian, you, while Garrick explains. There's actually a mild sedative been applied to the wine to dull the senses, make the drinker stupid. More stupid.
I'll look up to the others. I say Leoma, and then I think poison.
Horse, why didn't I think of that?
It won't kill him.
Mother says that the feud has to come to an end. Lord Ruthick wants it, and she says father wanted it too. And she says the best way to end a feud is by marriage. Aldrich, I'm to be married to Saltara Mordath.
Well, then why did she murder father? We have proof of this.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not happening that way. You can't trust her.
What, I could trust her? Aldrich, she's our mother.
Yeah. But she murdered father.
Who told you this? Was it the tiefling?
No.
It was me. The girl was with me the whole time.
You were in the water garden with your dalliance. Mother said that she was there during the time that father was supposedly being murdered. She said it right in front of you, and it didn't even tweak.
Well, you know, things sometimes go over my head. I'm not. I mean, you're the smart one. I mean, you're not the smart one. The Belle's the smart one. But I mean, you're both smarter than me. Do you think this is really true, Abel?
I mean, I don't want to believe it, but evidence speaks for itself, you know.
So what are we going to do?
It's probably good to decide what you're going to do before this meeting happens.
Oh, something else you should know.
What?
Apparently, I am the...
I think before you say Aldrich, I mean, do feel free to go on. I think it might be maybe wise to consult with the Eye. We're getting multiple things, and we don't know which one is true. We have no real way of knowing what's actually happening.
The girl has a good idea.
Where is the Eye?
It's here, Bone Mother Talora says, speaking for the first time, having been observing the proceedings from the side of the chapel.
I'll let go of Galric. I flatten his tunic.
Look, old chap, if it means bringing the feud to an end, I'll do my duty. I'll wed the Mordath girl. She's not.
Keep your pants on. First, let's get some wisdom from this eye, and then we'll decide what to do. The only important thing is you're safe for now.
If you say so.
Well,
isn't this the thing you said had a demon in it?
It wasn't held or contained correctly. It's in holy water now. It will be fine.
And she'll kind of somewhat bow and then start heading towards where the bowl is being kept. Still kind of waiting for like a definite, like, yeah, do it.
Talora looks at you. Sets the bowl down heavy on the table.
I walk over to the table.
The eye glimmers within the water, sending silver light filtering up and around the room.
Okay. Chancellor will do how Tasker essentially taught her, and will proceed. But she'll kind of prepare herself, knowing that this is going to make her feel rather
very, very, very ill.
Yeah.
Okay. You plunge your hand into the water and close your fist around the eye of Kalax. The silver floods up into you. Nausea overwhelms your body. You fight the urge to vomit. What exactly are you seeking? What futures do you desire to plumb?
More so the past. Preferably to see about the meeting and just anything to do surrounding the mother. She seems to be the key in all this of what's really real.
Okay. Images begin to fill your mind.
I see Ruthic and Zoldia embracing. Ruthic's now with his daughter. They're talking by some sort of candlelight.
She'll kind of like start kind of shaking, like trying to shake off the horrible feeling.
Yeah.
The daughter is now in the desert. She's riding, and on the horizon is Vallandor. She's with 4 warriors, and those warriors and Avel are in a dark room, and Avel's bleeding. Now there's a rainbow. It's just filming. I don't. Golric and this young girl are getting married. I don't really. I mean, Aldrich, you're there, and Ruthic's there, shaking hands. He looks really proud of you. And Aldrich, you're happy. That's it. That's all I can see. She'll kind of look over to Avel with a really worried, concerned look on her face.
and then we'll probably proceed to collapse onto the floor, maybe like heaving a little bit.
I catch her.
Okay.
And I carry her to a chair.
I will sit on this chair.
I'll give her a bowl so she can puke into it.
So Laura goes over to the bowl containing the eye, places a heavy lead lid over the bowl, and then ties rope around it in a thick knot. And goes over and slides it under a pew, closes a wooden compartment down over it. I think the fewer people tempted by the visions this thing prompts, the better.
Temptation, eh?
There's another at the chapel door.
JDR will knock an arrow.
Before they come in,
My Lord Galric, the voice says. My Lord Aldrich. Avel.
Of course.
Chance will look towards the Bone Mother and kind of put the eye away, please. Make sure it's completely...
Yeah, she pushes the wooden frontage on the compartment, dusts a bit of dust and lint over it, and then it goes to the door and opens it. There's a trio of Vallandor guards there. Bone Mother, one says. With a short bow.
I stand up.
Our guests from House Mordath are here. The Lady Isoldia commands the presence of her sons.
Okay. We shall be there shortly, I say. I know these men, right?
Yes, you probably trained them. Sir, one of them says.
We'll be there in 5 minutes.
Is this... Yes, sir, of course. He turns, swallowing his questions, and marches away with his men.
Before I watch them leave, and when they're out of sight, I close the door again. I don't really know what I'm getting into now.
None of us do.
But I would appreciate all of your help in whatever is in store for us next.
I certainly will not let you face your mother's machinations alone, Aldrich. I brought you into this world. I am not ready to see you leave it yet.
That's reassuring coming from you.
You know my loyalty always lies with you.
I have a suspicion I have a suspicion that your mother's loyalty lies with her sons in the end. So whatever she's doing, I have a suspicion she's doing it for you.
I would agree with that assessment, but I don't know if I agree with her motivations.
Fair enough.
And if it comes down to it, I would rather have an ace up my sleeve, and that ace is everybody who is not one of the sons. The rest of you will be free to move about while we are engaged in diplomacy. Use that. Because the rest of us will be under the watchful eye of my mother and Lord... Well, I forget his name again.
Ruthic.
Ruthic, thank you. Ruthic.
Are the guards still waiting for us outside?
They've retreated a respectful distance down the hallway and are waiting at the...
I quickly pop my head out of the door and ask, can one of the guards closer?
He comes over. Yes, little one.
Lord Ruthick, what kind of entourage did he accompany him here?
Oh, he's not here yet. He sent his daughter. She came with her 4 personal guards. Okay. I think he's coming later in the night.
Okay. And nobody else?
Not that we saw into the gates.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
We'll be right there.
Bye.
Close the door.
Did I hear that by any chance? Was it like a hush interaction?
No, it's just a discussion at the doorway.
Chanta, when she's finally kind of somewhat recovered, will go over to Avel and really just like hold onto their arm really tightly.
Yes, I pat her little head.
There. I guess I'm stuck here for a while then, my lord.
We have to be careful that they're not still after that IEs as well, huh?
They don't know that we have it.
I was careful not to make them know, but they can. Huh? There are always ways.
Yes.
Her mother knows, doesn't she?
Ah, well, there you go.
Yes.
And who said that the traitor didn't get word out to them?
Sure.
Does she know where it's kept? She'll look to the Bone Mother.
They know that it is in my possession, but I will place a word of warding over the compartment in which it lies. Any who seek to liberate it without my permission will feel the wrath of the Ghost Mother.
And what about if it's one of us? And you're long gone.
The name of the glyph is Ra-Su-Ma-Tha.
Then I would beg you, Jaedarian, and perhaps those of you who will not be in attendance, to guard the Lady Talora.
Oh, I am coming. I would not miss this meeting for the world. And I see no reason why the rest of you cannot come too. After all, if your brother is to be believed, it will be the occasion of a happy announcement. I'm sure the Lady Isolde would be desirous of spreading the good news of her son's betrothal. What proud mother could want otherwise?
I do have one issue with me attending. If Galric suspected I had something to do with it, won't the others?
Yes.
You are a tiefling. And you're in House Vallandor. You can expect nothing less than suspicion at best.
I can vouch for you for today. You've been with me the whole time.
Thank you, Hagen.
Well then.
Sons of Vallandor, Talora says. Lead on.
I open the door and hold it for everybody else.
Yes.
Let's go face the music.
Walk along and I suppose Chanta's still holding on to my arm, so I'm just like...
You'll be dragging her along, probably. She's holding you really tight.
Yes, come on now.
Okay. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, this is the Mardoth crest. And when you arrive in the Great Hall, There are a considerable number of Vallandor guards, and it doesn't take a social genius to recognize the unrest and division on their faces. Ulrich, many of the men you've trained with, you can see they're outright incensed at seeing the Mordath banner fluttering brazenly and loosely in the great hall of Vallandor. Four guardsmen each hold a flag aloft, bearing the serpent and sword of this house that has been your rivals for so long. And marching at their head, a woman in ornate red armor, black plate ordaining her shoulders, cloak as dark as her hair and hanging as loose, a tight-fitting metal gorget about her throat. Saltara, daughter of Ruthik. You're just arriving from one of the side passageways, as they stride in. She comes to a halt, places her hand on the hilt of her sword, and draws it, holds it pommel up, bows her head. Honor to you, Lady Isolde, and my condolences in this, the hour of your loss. She slides the blade back into its sheath, and as you file in from the side chamber, Shanta, you notice her first. The dark hair and pale eyes of Zura Hallow. The second in command, or should I say, former second in command of the Kalian Circle. And for those of you who've forgotten what she looks like.
Just quickly out of character,
yes?
No one knows of her betrayal, essentially, or just
no, it's another secret that Bellis has been keeping.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure for sure. So
I'm counting 5 so far. Oh yeah, about your dad. I did.
We've released
timing.
So Chance has always been afraid of this woman, but she's really happy to see her. And how far away is she from me?
Oh, a few dozen yards. As you enter, she catches sight of you and stops, places a hand on Saltara's shoulder, and simply strides forward and throws her arms wide.
Shanta will give her a really big hug.
Shanta, you live! I thought I was the only one to escape Highthorn alive, and yet you live.
Same.
Oh, child, and she places a hand against your face. I'm so sorry I could not save her. So sorry.
It's okay, I couldn't either. I'm glad to see that you're here and well. You are well, right?
In my body I am well. My spirit will be forever broken at what we lost, at what was taken from us.
She will remain in our hearts.
I am only grateful that the brave warriors of House Mordath were able to rescue us from our assailants. You are lucky that we got to Highthorn in time, Saltara says. But Isolde, Lady Isolde, we come to you on a dark day, and yet I bring greetings from my father. He, with his wagon train, is some time behind me, but will be with us shortly. In the meantime, I am to give you his good wishes, his good tidings, and ensure that his proposal of marriage, his union between our house and yours, has fallen on receiving ears. This soldier looks over to your little group where Galric is standing looking a little bit dumbfounded, his poor pretty little head spinning with all that he's heard in the last half hour or so. Seeing him, Saltara bows. Your father was a man of honor and skill. She taps at the gorget. He gave me this after all. Galric manages, but that's about all he can muster at the time. Thank you for joining us, Galric, Aldrich. Avel, as Aldia says.
Yes.
Please see Lady Saltara's men to their rooms. Rejoin us when you are done.
Yes, of course. If you'd follow me, please, and I walk away.
Okay. Saltara nods to her men.
Oh, is Chanta still on my arm?
Chanta's gone off to Zora, but she's gonna hearing.
They fall in behind you, and Avel and the four guards march from the chamber.
Chanta.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
before you go.
Didn't think Shanta's actually talking to Zura. Was talking to Zura. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Zura.
Mm-hmm. I'm drawing her attention.
Oh, yep. Yes.
Now, Isoldia says once Avel and the guards have left the room.
I'm about to get murdered, aren't I?
Perhaps the adults can talk. As I understand from your father, Isoldia says, there is a matter of negotiation to be made. I've never known Lord Ruthick to give anything away without wanting something in return, Isoldia says. No, you know my father well, Saltara says. We have taken Zura Hallow, the last of the tieflings of the Kalian Circle, or so we believed, into House Mordath. She has pledged us her allegiance, and now walks in safety under the banner of the Serpent and the Sword. My father wants only that she be restored that which was taken from her. I understand by people of your house. What are you referring to? Isoldia says. The Eye of Kalax. Vallandor has it, do they not? Isoldia looks over at the Bone Mother. The eye is too dangerous, Talora says. It is a demonic artifact and should be in no one's hands. So you admit you have it, Zura Hallow says. The tiefling's pale eyes flare. Dangerous or not, it isn't Vallandor's to keep.
Well, we will admit in having it if you would admit in murdering your boss.
Her hair ripples with unseen witchery. The light of the setting sun that hangs outside the hall dims. What did you say? White?
You heard me, witch.
She steps forward, and this electrical energy crackles at her fingertips. You slander me in your mistress's own hall, and thereby shield yourself from what would be just retribution for your lies. Step outside into the desert with me if you would, and I'll bury you in a tomb of glass.
Your mistress told me herself before she breathed her last breath, before I guided her into the arms of the Ghost Mother. If you don't believe me, we can ask the Ghost Mother. And a small recess of the skull comes in, and the bleeding into the other world.
Zura steps back almost immediately. Isolde, keep your white under control. I have no desire to smite her here for her vile witchcraft.
What is it that you're afraid of?
You all saw it? Moon whites. Beastly little things.
I'd say someone was worried about the truth.
Zora, you didn't, did you?
No, of course not. And you should know better than listen to whites. They're purveyors of lies and rumors and nothing more.
This purveyor of lies and rumors was in the employ of the now late Lord. Are you saying that he was an employer of liars?
I am saying nothing. Saltara? Look, Saltara says. The only thing that I care about in what you just said was admitting to having the eye. Now perhaps you need to hand it over.
I suppose this is where we differ in who cares about what. Because we do care about the other thing.
The eye belongs in the care of the Kaleen Circle, which it appears I am now the only member of.
Well spoken, dear.
She is shaking.
And you've come to ask for something that isn't yours.
And more importantly, you accuse a member of this house of lying in its halls.
Which this member of the house is willing to put to the test.
Please, may I ask, which one is your diplomat?
Avel.
God damn it.
The four Mordath warriors follow you along the hall. There's a long silence as you make your way from the grand hall up toward the residential quarters. So, which one are you? One of the guards says eventually.
What do you mean?
Are you the fighter or are you the stupid one?
Haha.
No, says one of the guards. Look at the hat. That one's the fop. The one who plays the mandolin.
Brangelele, he says under his breath.
What did you call me?
Nothing, my good men. See, your quarters will be on the right here.
Why'd you wear that hat? Says the first guy.
What do you mean, why do I wear the hat? Can you not
I
see?
know. That's because he's going bald. He's got one of those stupid receding hairlines, and he's trying to hide it.
I'll have you know, my head of hair is glorious. This just happens to be a glamorous hat that I won from 3 dragons many years ago.
You won it from 3 dragons, says the first guard.
I did indeed, and if I liked you more, I'd tell you the story, and yet here we are, and I don't like you. And your rooms are on the right.
More like 3 flagons. Yeah, 3 flagons, am I right?
Ha ha, ha ha, ha.
Go and show us in then.
Well, yes, here you go. And he opens the door and stands by the doorway. He doesn't go in.
Okay. The guards kind of look at each other. We're all supposed to all 4 of us to fit in there.
Yes, well, I don't know if you've noticed, but the castle is kind of sinking into the sand. We don't have much in the way of beds these days.
They troop into the room. And then from inside, you can hear one of them say, "No, this won't do.
What do you mean this won't do?
Look, come on, look at this. Look at the state of this."
And he peers through the doorway.
He's pointing at something out of sight around the corner of the from the little entrance alcove.
Listen, I know what you're doing. I'm not going in that room. No!
I mean, it's a chance to tell you what she saw.
Okay,
One of them turns and steps out to the hallway.
Listen, if you have such an issue with the beds, why don't you talk to one of the servants? Now, I have to go back to my family. Will you excuse me?
Now listen to me. And the humor suddenly drains from his face and voice alike. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. What would you prefer? And he leans forward so that his arm kind of blocks the corridor.
You know, I didn't want to have to do this.
Good. The hard way, then, he says. And his hand goes for his sword. There's the sound of blade ringing from the scabbard. Saltara frowns. Listen. We can deal with the matter of the eye when my father gets here. But when he arrives, he won't want to hear that there's been, shall we say, a disagreement. Look, Garrick says. I'm Lord of the House. And that thing has brought us nothing but sorrow since it came into our family. A number of our guards are dead. My father's dead. And I've heard all sorts of things, and I don't know what to believe. And I want things to go back to the way they were. He turns and faces you, Aldrich, pleading in his eyes. Aldrich, just give it back to them. It's not ours. She's just a tiefling. Haven't you learned from the last time?
I look at Golric. It's not mine to give, or yours. It's not in our possession. And this is something that all of you have to understand. It's not a commodity that is up for barter. It belongs to her, I said, pointing at Shanta.
Actually, Zura says, it doesn't.
Well,
she was an apprentice, nothing more.
I believe my dear priestess here, above your word, I'm afraid. So unless you can prove otherwise, that you did not murder the leader of the Kalian Circle, I will protect it with my life and this house's life.
Isolde steps forward, hands raised. It doesn't actually matter who believes who, she says. We do possess it. It is in our possession. And it will be returned. Because Galric has said so, and I, as the lady of this house, command it.
It is not in your possession. It is mine. And I may have just been an apprentice, and I don't have as high of a rank as you, but I am the last remaining person from the Kalian Circle.
Enough! Isolde shouts. Avel, the blades are out. The guy has grabs hold of you by the chest and starts to yank you back into the room, where his companions are already pulling their blades. Make me a quick initiative roll, please. D6 plus your dex modifier.
6.
All right. I got a 2. What do you do?
I'm using my color spray spell. I'm gonna take it out of my my fanny pack, all of the powders and stuff, and just sort of into his face.
Okay. You saw Judarian do it yourself, and magpie-like, you've taken the skill and made it your own. The spell runs fluid from your lips. The powder erupts into the room, filling with a clashing rainbow, a plethora of hues. Roll me d6 to see how many of them are affected.
4.
4!
There's your rainbow.
Fills with rainbow light, and there's a solid sound of clong. Satisfyingly enough, the man who was holding you by the lapels falls sideways, cracks his head off the wall, his helmet comes loose, and hits the ground with a sound like an egg breaking.
Yes, well, I'm glad we could do it the hard way, but I really have to get back to my family now. He sort of just walks away.
Calm yourself, Talora says, into the startled silence that follows Isolde's outburst. An allegiance between our houses, a marriage, the return of a demonic trinket. These are small prices to pay for peace. Allow me to return to my chapel. I will recover the Eye of Kalax from safekeeping and bring it to you.
I will follow the Bone Mother in her treads.
I also want to follow.
Okay.
I too would like to follow.
She turns and moves smoothly from the chamber. Aldrich, you hear her voice almost whisper to you as she walks past, and realize that you are in fact hearing it within your mind.
Okay. Whose voice, sorry?
The Bone Mother's, Talora's.
Yes.
Come, Aldrich. Time is short.
I look at my mother.
Okay.
And
she nods. Do what you must.
I look at the rest of the room, and if you'll excuse me for a moment.
There is a complete mix of expressions. Zura looks like she's about to spit fire. Saltara is vaguely amused. Garrett looks like he's about to start weeping. But amongst the men and courtiers, there is almost open dissension. Some are shaking their heads. Others are muttering darkly to one another behind their hands. This union with House Mordath has not met with universal approval. That much is clear.
As I pass one of the sergeants of the guard, I put a hand on his shoulder and whisper in his ear, "Steady your men."
We stand by you, Lord. Whatever you command.
Just don't make them too eager to draw their blades.
If that happens, we'll be drawing blades against each other. But my squadron, we've trained with you every morning, sir. We're with you if you need us.
Very well. I follow the Bone Mother.
I'll head out with him, and I'll whisper to Aldrich, "What about your brother?"
Sorry, what was that?
"What about your brother?"
I'm afraid he is afraid he's stuck. For now. Anyway.
Okay. Within minutes, you're back in the chapel. Talora goes to both inner and outer doors, the one that leads to the main body of the fortress, and the one that leads to the cemetery. And you can see her working spells of warding on them. If we have unwelcome guests, that will hold them long enough.
We need to find Avel, sorry.
There is something else I wanted to do. Supposition and words heard in doorways are well enough. She strides over to Talric's body and rips the death mask from his face. I want to ask him myself.
All right.
When your house follows the priest of the Ghost Mother, your reign doesn't end with death.
I'm actually going to guard the door and look out for Avel.
Okay.
You're muted.
You're muted, Leia.
Am I still running down the corridor then?
I'll get back to you shortly.
Oh, okay. Well,
Perhaps I should go see to where Avel is.
Would you like me to go?
Somebody needs to guard the Bone Mother.
As if on cue, there is a scraping noise from the rear of the chapel. The lid of one of the crypts slides aside. And a somewhat dusty, but nevertheless still fine feathered hat pokes into view.
I suppose the negotiations didn't go very well.
You could say that. What happened to you?
Oh, you know, this and that. My hat is dusty, and he takes it off his head and brushes it and puts it
His
back.
hair is lustrous. It wasn't a lie.
Oh, it is.
No, if he takes his hat off, there's at least 3 other hats there.
There's 3 other hats and bears.
Yes.
30.
Yes. Yes, this castle has many secrets.
So, you gave the guards a welcome?
Oh yes, no, they
I take it they were
enjoyed the
friendly.
rooms. Oh yeah, no, of course, you know, proper
Just as I thought.
Mordath. Yes,
Then we should prepare for the next welcoming committee.
Shanta, seeing Avel safe, will run up and give the biggest hug of all time.
Aww. He hugs back and he lifts her off her feet as he does so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. Laura stands at Talric's head, places her hands over his eyes, and mutters cold and silent words of prayer. A grey mist pours from his face, rising up to take the place of where the death mask was, and forming a perfect replica of Lord Talric's features. Briefly, she looks toward the assembled group. 3 questions I am permitted, then his soul must rest for a week. I will start with the most obvious. Lord Talric, by whose hand did you leave this world?
Oh,
Why did she do it? Why do you think she did it? With you, I refused offer of alliance from that bitch fucker. Laura looks to the rest of you. If any of you have a final question you would be put to him, say it now.
I look at Avel and at Aldrich.
Aldrich?
I'm thinking.
Chanta looks up and just kind of looks at the face and just says, I'm sorry I called you a bastard.
Why don't we ask him about Jadarian's mother?
I didn't feel that I had the right to ask, as it's your father's last words.
Well, unless anyone has anything better.
Lord Talaric, what would you have us know? Ask Aldrich to forgive me. I did not know. And the mist is drawn back into the corpse. And the spell ends. Wow, Tamura says.
We could not ask for better confirmation for ourselves, but if we want to convince anyone else of what Lady Isolde has done, we will need more tangible proof.
What I want to know is what to do next.
That would be my question to you. Lord Ruthick will be here within the hour, and he is bringing a considerable body of soldiers with him.
We must leave this place with the eye.
And have this house fall?
Aldrich, let's face it, the house has already fallen.
Not necessarily. If you let those soldiers in, yes. If you keep them out the door and you make decisive decisions now, it doesn't have to be. But it will mean that you have to deal with your mum and get your brother in line.
If he's not dead already.
Well, you know,
And we have to
considering the last
expel...
conversation that he had, you need to have a spine to break, you know? He didn't have a spine.
He,
He's in mourning.
I'm not worried about Golric. I am worried about fighting my own mother. And I'm worried about having to expel this contingent of...
You don't have to fight your own mother, you have to contain her. You have to fight the murderous tiefling bitch.
Zora is extremely powerful. She scares me.
Aldrich, you may yet be able to convince your mother that she is in the wrong. You might not have to fight her.
Well, whatever conversation I have with her, it's not going to happen now. It'll have to happen later, once she's confined.
A reminder of her treachery already. Who says that she's not still in love with this man from Mornath? She may be inviting her lover into your walls.
It would be a perfect solution.
Yes, that lover who happens to be my father, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what am I now? Am I Vallandor?
What
Am
do
I
you choose
Mordath?
to be?
Aldrich, bastard.
do
There's
you
nothing wrong with that, though.
What do you choose to be? You've always believed that you were a Vallandor. There's nothing wrong with sticking with that.
And I have fought for this house
And bled.
against them. Very well. Then I say we expel this diplomatic party and we take over the house.
I'm right
Anybody-
beside you.
Anybody disagree?
I looked at the Bone Mother. What did she say?
I have served Vallandor for 3 generations. I know where my loyalties lie.
All right. Avel, the men that went with you... Avel, sorry. The men that escorted you, did you incapacitate them?
Oh, most certainly.
Finish the job.
Of course.
Let's go say hi to our guests.
I suggest you send someone with your brother.
I think you just volunteered.
I bow my head.
Hurry back, though.
Okay.
I'm going to get my gear.
I'll knock an arrow.
So, Jadarian and Avel, you're going to head back to the guest quarters.
Yes.
Okay. Avel takes you through the catacomb route that he used to get here. When you burst in through the door of the guest room, your arrow and blade at the ready, the guards are gone. The effect of the color spray lasts for a few minutes only.
I look on the floor. Do I see like this coloured spray?
You can see little sprinkles of colored sand here and there, yeah.
I smell it. You should have finished them off while you had the chance. We've now lost we've lost the surprise now.
I had more pressing matters, such as whether or not my brothers were going to be murdered, thank you.
I'll head out the door.
Okay. Aldrich,
Mm-hmm.
you rush from the chapel to the nearby barracks to gird yourself in your harness, take up your weapons. Sergeant Vallis is there in low conversation with his men as you come bursting into the room. He stands. Sir, what's your word?
We defend.
I can rely on 20 men, sir. There are 3 times as many as that who won't turn against the Lady Isolde.
They don't have to turn to her. Turn against her, I mean. We're merely going to keep her confined to quarters.
And when Ruthik arrives?
We shall show them the strength of Vallandor, shall we not?
Very well, sir. It is a privilege to serve with you.
And you. I clasp him on the shoulder.
He returns the gesture. Are you proceeding directly to find your mother, or?
Well, first I get harnessed up and grab my gear and all that.
My point is, are you recovering? You going to join with your companions at the chapel, or?
I'm going to find my companions first, so that we at least can coordinate our efforts.
Okay. Well, Aval and Judarian are back at the chapel by the time you arrive with your gear. They look a little disappointed.
What's going on?
The men that I incapacitated were gone by the time we got there.
No matter.
Okay.
Deal with them when we do.
Bellis walks forward, in her hands carrying the eye in a bowl. Shall we bring them the eye?
Why would we do that?
I whispered to her, it's not really the eye, it's an illusion.
Oh, I like that.
Well, this is where we went away to get the eye, right? That's what I remember.
That is what they say they want.
Okay, let's give them that. And
What spell are you using for this?
The Orison illusion.
All right, so it doesn't have a physical component.
No, it's just I have to concentrate on it then.
Okay, right. What I mean is that if they touch it, it'll be dispelled.
Yeah, it'll be gone.
Yeah.
It's just a ruse.
Yeah.
To focus their attention. So this thing won't last, but it will keep their attention focused, and you guys can get into the room and do your things.
Okay. But when we get into that room, the first thing we need to do is incapacitate that wizard. All right? Who can do that?
I can attempt.
Okay. She gets a spell off. It might not be very long after that we're all on the floor. So it's important that she's down.
Yes, my lord.
I will have a way of keeping her attention.
Okay. Jadarian. Saltara is going to be dangerous. I've heard rumors of her prowess. I'm going to need your help.
Very well.
Same with you, Aval.
Of course. And it's Avel.
Oh.
I mean, you're my
Sorry.
brother. You should know how to say it by now, but it's okay. Don't worry.
It changes every week.
I mean, you know.
The hat is very distracting.
What do you keep under there?
Well.
As we get to the door mark of when you get to that stage, I'd like to cast a spell. So.
Okay, which spell?
Are we at the door then?
No, I just wanted to check from you which one it was, but if you want to drop it in Quenya, then that's fine. Okay.
I haven't. She kind of like looks around at everyone, and tightens the blanket. Kind of stares at where the eye is being kept at the wooden compartment. Just say, it's happening again, and we'll look over to try and catch the eye of the Bone Mother. And if she is present, she would like to approach her.
What is it, child?
She'll kind of lean in, like hushed tones. I fear that this will keep causing something. I mean, it was safe, and now we've got it behind a box, and
if it falls in their hands, they destroyed my people and will do anything to get this eye. And I'm scared that it will fall into their hands. If it starts to look like that may be the case, is there a way to destroy it?
Destroy the eye. After the demon came loose, I consulted my holy books on this matter. There were two methods of destroying it.
Okay.
One is to seek out Kalax in the abyss and slay him there. This will deprive the eye of the source of power on which it draws.
Okay.
The second is to expose it to the unliving breath of Vorum Cathriax.
Do I know who Thorum Cathriax is?
You've never heard the name Vorum Cathriax before. She sees your, huh? Expression.
Yeah.
Smiles. Vorum Cathriax is an undead dragon who dwells in the ghost forests of what was once far south of Kashagari.
Where we came from.
Where your people came from, yes. My instincts tell me that your path may well lie in that direction. She nods at a Judarian. His mother went in search of the ghost elves who dwell there in that same forest, with her daughter and her 2 bodyguards, years ago.
But why?
She was seeking Gal Hanoi, the true homeland of the elves. Ardminia was their first kingdom, but not where they were from. The ghost elves of the Dead Forest are ancient, and she believed they could show her the path to Gal Hanoi. I do not know whether she found it.
Why haven't you told Jadarian this?
It was my intention to.
Guess now's not really the time.
Indeed.
Okay, so neither are easy, quick things of maybe just dropping the eye. So I don't see that being a quick solution. If this plan goes south, I don't know what to do.
Be at peace. The Ghost Mother will welcome you home. She will take you into her dark embrace, and you will pass into the beyond in peace and love. So it is for all things that live.
Same with Taska.
Most assuredly so. For one of the Ghost Mother's children was with her when she passed.
Okay. She'll just begin wrapping herself even tightly in a blanket.
Okay.
She'll kind of sit up. I see we've all partnered off. Where do I fit into this plan? She'll kind of look over at the others who kind of got something set up.
I'm going to need your strength when it comes to fighting your former circle member. You know her tactics. You need to help Hagen.
I can try my best. I've never come close to beating her in combat.
You won't be alone.
Okay.
Don't forget the men of House Vallandor are fighting for us as well.
Well, 20 of them are.
Yeah.
Well, the ones... 20 of them are eager to fight under my command. The rest might not want to fight Lady Isolde, but I'm sure they don't mind hitting the odd House Mordath soldier.
Mm.
Don't worry, I'll try to keep her attention on me.
Okay. You spend a few moments contemplating what is about to come. Glance at each other. And then set forth from the chapel. The road from the chapel to the Great Hall is short across an internal courtyard. You can already see guards mustering at the gate. You recognize them as Sergeant Velis and his men. 20 of them in tight formation. Seeing you, Velis gives you a rapid salute.
I salute him.
They're still discussing, arguing in there, sir.
Okay.
We
Watch
follow
the
your
gate.
lead.
Don't let anybody in. Do you understand? Nobody
Yes,
comes
sir.
to that gate. I don't care if Lord Ruthak has to cook in the desert sun.
He turns and with his men head off toward the gate. Do you make your way into the Great Hall?
Yes.
I like to cast a spell first.
Go on then.
So yeah, he will again place his hand on his chest and whisper the words Samin More Vanewa, and like a shield will envelop him.
Okay, nice.
And then he heads in, knocking it. I want an arrow out, but can I hide it? Because if I go in with a knocked arrow...
Yeah,
It's not so much the arrow that's the problem, it's the 5-foot-long bow.
Well, I always carry that in my hand, so that would have been no different.
Uh-huh. No, you can't hide the fact that you have a war arrow knocked in your bow.
Yeah,
surely you're quite a fast draw.
Oh, extremely fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, most of the eyes will be on me and Bone Mother Talora when we enter with the eye, I'm sure.
Yep. Okay. The six of you and Talora stride into the chamber. Unlike in the picture, of course, it's nighttime now, and pale starlight fills the room, mingling silver from above with the ruddy gold of the flames rising from below.
Is there any way that Hagen could come in stealthily, take an alternate route if need be? All right.
Hagen, you blend into the shadows along the flanks of the hall, behind the pillars, unseen.
I kind of, as I see him kind of begin to go off, I'll keep an eye on his location. Can I do that if I've seen him?
You're surprised at how quickly you lose sight of him.
Shucks. I'll just kind of look over to where I thought Hagen was, and then just be like,
Yeah. Okay. Isolde turns as your group enters the room. I see. Took your time, Talora. I took my time. I kept my promise. Ballis, the eye.
I bring forward the eye.
Okay.
I look at the lady and I say, shall I present it to our guests?
Saltara strides forward. So this is it. This shining bauble.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Before she grabs
it's so
her
pretty. Yeah.
I wave my hand over it and I make it disappear into the void.
Ooh.
What have you done? Where is it?
I'm afraid we thought it better that nobody have it.
Her hand goes immediately to her sword hilt. Isolde, get your wight under control, or I will drop her where she stands. Zura steps forward, and you can see immediately she reaches into the pouch beneath her robe and pulls out what is clearly the components to a spell.
I'll shoot her twiise.
I suppose we should.
Shoot her.
You get a free shot, and then we roll initiative.
I haven't got an arrow. I haven't got an arrow knocked, so.
Then it's just initiative roll.
Well, I wanted to have an arrow knocked, but you said I couldn't get away with it.
You can get away with it in secret.
Well, she could have done it while she was ogling and eyeing over my little...
I said, could I do it in
trick.
secret? I did say, can I do it in secret?
Yeah.
So if you allow me a shot, I'll have a shot.
Yeah, but no, but.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll
Yeah, but no, but. Ugh.
My initiative is 6.
6. Okay, Ballis.
My initiative is 5.
Okay, Chanta.
2.
Nice one. Hagen.
Don't lie to me. That is not a nice one.
8. All right, Jadaria.
Beat me. I'm on 7.
7 and Avil.
6.
6. Okay, right, Hagen.
All right. Is there any way that I could coat my short sword in some of that scorpion poison?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to go in on Zura for the backstab.
Okay, nice.
Whoa.
In fact, coming at it with a backstab, it is actually an outright assassination attempt.
Yes.
Do
Okay,
it.
Roll me percentage dice.
May the gods be ever in your favor.
84.
84. Oh, okay. You step up behind her and thrust. The last time she hears something, a rippling of your cloak, a scrape of your foot, and starts to turn. Nevertheless, you do gain a successful backstab.
Okay.
Double damage.
All right. Let's see. All right. That
Am I-
is 6
Sorry, I was just
times 2 will be 12.
Okay, plus any strength bonuses, which is nothing. Oh, but you've got the dex. Yeah, so it's another
Yeah, I've got
So
the dex, so it is.
15. Right.
If I was to call out that she was about to cast a spell, I'd have to wait for my turn.
Yeah.
No worries.
Nevertheless, she has something else on her mind. Is at this particular moment, Hagen has appeared from behind her and thrusts his venom-coated short sword right into her back. And she takes backstab damage and gets to make a saving throw against poison, for which she rolls an 8. Oh dear.
I think Drew's right in chat. Get wrecked.
Indeed, Drew. Damage rises to 30.
Ouch.
God.
Drops to one knee, her life almost completely taken from her. I don't care what level sorcerer you are, 30 hit points is going to hurt. There's a gout of blood spatters down onto the marble floor in front of her as she turns around to face you, and then pulls herself upright and immediately begins working on a spell. Jadarian.
I shoot her twice.
Okay, she's armor class 18.
18.
I love the nonchalance. It's just like I shoot her.
I've got a natural 20 and a natural 15, so I reckon they're both hit.
Natural 20 is automatic max damage.
So that's okay. So that's going to be 15. No, hang on. 8 plus 5, 13. And the other one is 8. So 21 damage.
Bloody hell.
We're just murdering this woman.
The spell dies on her lips.
She
hits
two
the floor,
massive war arrows out of her back.
rolls sideways, and one word of magic comes forth from her mouth on a bubble of blood. The spell dies, as does Zura Hallow. 51 points of damage in a single round.
In 2 attacks.
Wow.
Nice.
Badass. Avel
Yes.
and Aldrich at the same time, actually.
When the elves high five each other.
Okay. Who would? I think Avel goes first.
Okay. Who's closest to me?
Saltara and her 4 bodyguards, the ones who you zapped with your color spray, are there as well.
Oh yes. Round 2, shall we? I'm going to take out my bastard sword and try and kill the nearest one. Let's go.
Guard. Okay, right. You throw yourself forward, blade swinging. He's armor class 15.
20.
Oh, okay. Max damage.
Which would be 1d8 plus 1. Do I get 1 for my strength as well?
Yeah, you do.
So
max damage is going to be 9 then.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
A whirling blow that just decapitates the guard with a single strike. Perfect critical hit. 2 20s in a row, guys.
Oh, no.
Smooth.
Shouldn't have
I
missed
cut
that.
someone's head off again.
Shouldn't
Yeah,
have
you did
missed
again.
that.
Nice.
No, it was the guy who was rude about your hat. That's true.
Yes, there you go.
I'm not a fop.
Aldrich.
Are these men eligible for my combat dominance?
Yes, they are.
Right.
So you get 2 attacks.
I get 2 additional attacks.
No, just 2. 1 for each level. We
One
get
for
two.
each-
Yeah, an additional primary attack. 1 additional primary attack. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, but I get 2 attacks anyway.
So that's 3.
So 3 attacks. Okay. All right. First guy, first attack. That is a modified 17 to hit,
Okay.
and the damage is 11.
Okay. You gut him completely. The blade rips through his armor, through his flesh.
Okay.
He stumbles backwards, grabbing at his viscera, and collapses, gargling.
I let him fall down. I keep the flow of the momentum of my attack going. I whirl around and catch the second one with a half strike.
Go for it.
That's a modified 20 to hit with 10 points of damage.
10? Yeah. The third one goes down.
The second, oh yeah, okay, and then my third attack, which is a primary weapon again, is a modified 17 to hit and does 12 damage.
And in as many moments as it takes to draw 4 breaths, Saltara's 4 guards are felled. Okay, Bellis.
Bellis waits for Saltara to act.
Okay. Well, she acted at the same time as Shanta.
As soon as she does an action, I'm going to cast a light spell on her eyes.
Her blade comes out. All right, she gets a saving throw, which she rolls a 10, which at her level with her skill is just enough to save. The light is displaced behind her head, a glow in the air behind her. And then she throws herself toward Aldrich and Ovell, blade whirling about her. Hit on Aldrich, and a hit on Ovell as well. She is a dervish of steel, leaping between them. The blade, as you can probably see in the picture, I'll pop it back up again, is a long, thin affair. Easily able of wreaking havoc in close quarters combat such as this. Aldrich, 9 damage. Avel, 2.
Oh.
Slashes twice at Aldrich, kind of rolls sideways, backhand blade rips across Avel's tunic. And meanwhile, Shanta, what are you doing?
I would like to cast my major witchery and make loads of me, please, with my mirror image.
Okay, that's D4 plus 1 for you, isn't it?
I believe so. Which is 3.
Okay, so there are now 4 of you.
Preferably propel them in front of me, maybe in front of the others if I can.
Okay, they're swirling and dancing and leaping around you. All images shifted and blurred. It's impossible to see which one is truly you. All right.
Perfect.
At the end of the round, Isolde shouts, "Guards! Guards to me!" And from chambers on either side, 8 Vallandor guards, 4 from either side, come racing into the room and take up guard position around Isolde herself. Initiative for the next round, please. You don't need to roll for Zura, that's for sure.
Haha.
Haha, 1.
Oh, same. 1.
7.
Modified
Okay.
5.
Aldrich 7, Bellis 5, Shanta 1, Hagen
4.
4, Jadarian.
8.
Okay, and Avel, I missed that?
1.
A 1. Okay, Jadarian.
Okay, he looks at the weapon that she's carrying and calls out Alta Libioma, and it's a grease for a weapon. The grip of a weapon.
Yep. 15. It almost slides from her grasp, but she tightens the grip around it with both hands and holds it in place and glares a promise at you. When I finish these 2, you're next, elf, she snarls.
And I move 30 foot.
Okay. Aldrich.
Okay, I have 3 attacks this round.
Yeah, she's armor class 21.
Yes. I'm going to do a perfect parry,
Yep.
a threatened area, and
Yeah.
1 attack.
Okay.
So
That's just your half strike then. Because
yes,
the
I
others
guess.
have to be primaries. Yeah.
Okay. That's a modified. I rolled a 15. I get plus 6. That's 21. Shit.
That's exactly what you need. Yes.
Oh, that's. Oh, I thought it was 22.
No, she's 21.
And that's the. Oh wait, the half strike is D6, isn't it?
Yep. Plus strength.
And that's 8 damage.
8. Okay. The half cracks her across her chin.
And then I go into a whirling stance.
All right. Nice. Okay. Bellis.
Bellis puts a hand on Aldrich and gives him the strength of the Ghost Mother. Stone strength.
Ooh, cool. How much does he get for that?
1d4 extra strength, minimum of 16.
Bloody hell.
Strength of stone. Yeah.
Okay, is there a limit on that?
Well, 1d4, eh? So.
No, I mean, okay, Aldrich. You've got 23 strength.
The spell grants supernatural strength to the recipient by raising his strength score by 1d4 points or to a minimum of 16, whichever is higher.
23. Okay, outrageous.
20,
Right then.
I don't even know what that does.
Okay, I'll tell you. That raises your attack and damage up to the brand spanking new total of +6 to hit and +10 damage.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. Who said second edition was unbalanced? Okay.
Wait, that's just
Okay,
my
hold on.
strength bonus, right?
This is strength bonus, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Right, on 4, Saltara and Hagen.
He has this for 4 rounds.
4 rounds, okay. Hagen, what you doing?
Hagen is taking his short sword and, well, actually, no, he doesn't want to get in close. No, he's going to take out his short bow and
Okay.
take a shot at her.
Okay, you can, if you're not moving, you can drop 2 arrows.
All right.
Right, she's AC 21 though.
Okay, worth a shot. That's not going to do it. That's 7 plus 3 would be a 10.
No?
And nope, that's even worse.
Okay, right. One ricochets off her armor, the other goes quite wide. Okay, Isolde's men are now in tight formation around her, have their blades out and bristling. From outside, you can hear shouts and yells, a horn blowing alarm quite wildly, and this is what sounds like fighting. However, you have other matters on your hand. Okay. Saltara lunges for you, Aldrich. You parry her first blow.
And
She steps into your guard, uses her second attack to bat the blade of your ranseur aside, and then strikes with her third. It's a 1. She's unused to fighting an easily competent opponent, and you...
It's the
Very
grease
simply
on her weapon.
And a greasy sword,
It's
yeah.
the grease on the weapon. Doesn't
Yeah,
really
but-
help, let's be fair.
But if she enters my threatened area, I get a free attack against her.
Only if she doesn't give up one of her attacks, which she did.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and Shanta and Avil, both on 1.
Yes, okay.
I had a quick question which I put in
Yeah.
the group chat.
Yeah, no, you can't.
I can't, that's fine. Well, she said that she was going to attack Jadarian next, correct?
Yeah, she did say that, yes.
Yeah. Am I able to cast Change, as a cantrip for his face? No, not Change, Mask.
On whose face?
Jadarian's.
Yes.
I just want to make him look like a random guard in the room.
Okay, right.
Just change his appearance.
You let the cantrip slip, and he is no longer a dashingly handsome and surprisingly compelling elf. You're just like a butt ugly human now, but
Yeah, I just make him a human being.
oh well.
Yes.
Okay, Avil.
heard that.
Okay, I'm gonna try and join the fight with Sword Lady, and I'm gonna take my Kopesh and try and hack at her legs.
Okay, trip attack. Nice. Okay. Give me a d20 roll, please.
Okay. 18.
Yo, okay. You step in around her ankles and yank. The curved blade of the Kopesh neatly snares her around her lower legs, and Saltara goes down. All right? All attacks against her are +4, and she's going to take her an action to
Am
get
I
up.
gonna do damage? Wasn't
And
I
you can roll damage as normal, yes.
Okay. That is 7.
Okay, smooth. Initiative, please.
Oh my god. 1 again.
Modified 7.
Avel 1, Bear
Eight.
7,
Oh, so it's a +4 on her
7.
now?
Aldrich 8 to hit her, yeah. Shanta,
2.
2, Hagen,
7.
7. Jadarian.
5.
5. Okay. Hagen and Bellis.
Okay. Hagen first.
Okay. Hagen's going to go for another couple of shots, this time with a d20.
Okay.
Six.
No.
Oh.
And 18 plus 3 is 21.
That's it. There you
You've
go.
got plus 4 as well because she's down.
Yeah, as well. But she's down. But okay. So
Oh, okay,
damage.
Cool. All right. Right. That's 4 plus 3 is 7.
7. Okay. She's starting to feel the burn now. Arrows and blades.
No, sorry. Sorry, I don't add anything to that.
No, okay, fine.
It's just for that.
Okay, Bellis.
I'm presuming that will also give me a better chance to target my light spell. I'm going to do it right this time.
Yeah, okay. She'll get a saving throw penalty. Okay, yes. Now the light spell drops on her eyes, momentarily blinding her. Floods ahead with illumination, and you can see her eyes burning to milk white under the effect of the spell. Okay, Jadarian.
I fire twice at her.
Aldrich, I've missed you out. You were on an 8.
Yes.
Oh,
Go ahead.
here it comes, guys.
Okay. First attack is going to be to disarm her.
Okay.
She's got a greased weapon and she's blinded. I'd say I have a pretty good odds here.
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Oh! Okay. Rancer spins. Her blade goes flying from her hand.
And then I impale her through the chest with my Ranseur.
Okay.
16 modified to plus... that's plus 8 to hit, so that's a 24. 24.
Yeah, easy.
Oh.
And that's 4. And that's 17 damage.
That's including the heightened strength, yeah?
Yes, that's
29, 39.
Oh, no, wait, I apologize. It should be 19.
19.
I forgot to... I just added it to my previous plus, but that actually includes my specialty damage as well.
32, 41. Okay. The blade cracks her armor clean open. Takes her right through the middle. She coughs, blood spurts from her mouth. And even with the grease on her hands, tries to drag the Rancer out of her ruined torso. Okay, Jadarian.
I honorably put 2 arrows in her. Rolled a 1. And armor class 17, so missed.
Okay. Let's go wide. Shanta.
How can I miss with plus 4?
I am going to.
Because you're a shit elf, that's why.
That's like fighting talk.
Yeah, you know where I live.
I've been there in 12 hours.
I'm going to cast Magic Missile on her, which is 4 damage, please.
4. Okay. Every little bit counts. She's struggling to rise to her feet, trying to get the Rancer out of her, and bam! Magic Missile hits her in the side of the head, scorching her skin all the way down. And finally, Avil.
God, is she not dead yet? Okay. Can I try and cut her head off?
Can you try and cut her head off?
Yeah.
You can make a cold shot to her head to do maximum damage. It'll be -4 to hit, which will counteract the 4 of her lying on the ground. So just hit AC 21.
You can do it.
21?
Yeah.
That's normal.
She's got a massive.
She's wearing a gorget.
Yeah,
she's literally picking her most armored part.
No, I don't even have to go for the neck. It's just any part of the head. you know?
He wasn't wearing a helmet.
So
He
you,
Right.
sever, you can sever her from the nose up. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Years, like, I'm down for it. Okay.
Armor
just-
class 21. Here we go.
You just kind of start taking layers off like an onion.
Roll.
Whew. I'm scared. All right. 20.
No.
What are the odds?
Dead ass. Okay. Is that max damage?
Maximum
Damage
damage.
anyway.
All right.
The Kopesh comes down. Her head flies from her body.
Yes. This is so metal, I can't believe it.
Oh, God.
4 natural 20s in that fight.
That's just an outrageous battle. From beyond, the sounds of shouts and yells fill the courtyard without. There is a momentary lull of silence as Isolde realizes she is alone. The guards around her look back to you as you have come in and slaughtered the opposition. At that moment, the doors fly open.
Oh no.
Handsome man.
Sergeant Vallis is briefly there,
Okay.
stumbles forward to one knee, and then collapses forward onto his face. Half a dozen arrows out his back. And standing where he was, flanked by a considerable number of Mardoth guards, is Lord Ruthic of House Mordath.
Avel wipes his daughter's head off with her blade.
Dennis picks up the head. I believe you were looking for your daughter?
Oh no.
It's only half of her head, though. You know, it's like to the ears or whatever.
Oh.
Because I couldn't get her neck.
I'm gonna quickly cast shield, if I may, on myself.
We will pray for her.
Yes. I'm sorry, but she was
He
a bitch.
strides in. Who did this?
It was a group
We
effort.
all did.
Yeah.
I say, pulling my runcer out of his daughter's chest.
He looks up at Isolde. There will then be no alliance. I will not forget this. This is what you called me here to witness, Zolia. I did my best. The eye is lost, she says.
Into the void, where you belong to.
Ruthic stares around the chamber. Your men offer good resistance at the gates. They died honorable deaths. I have no desire to kill any more honorable men or Vallandor men this day. And he sheathes his blade, still bearing the blood of Valis and the 20 who gave their lives to hold the gate for the few rounds that you needed. Ruthik walks slowly forward. He's not even looking at his daughter's body. And he comes to stand in front of you, Aldrich. Looks you up and down. I haven't seen you in a long time, boy. You've grown into every bit the man I knew you would. I only wish our meeting face to face as men could have come on another day, in another place, under other circumstances. I'm sorry for your loss. What will you do with her?
We will give her a warrior's burial.
I meant your mother.
She'll be staying here.
As you wish.
Until we meet again, Father.
My son. He turns and looks up at Isolde. Nods slightly and shrugs. Another piece played, another move made. A win, a loss. A child sacrificed. He's Ruthik of Mordath. And he has seen and done far worse. All this in a glance. And he turns away, and with the merest gesture of his hand, his men lower their weapons and follow him back out into the desert.
After he leaves, I look to the men surrounding my mother.
Yeah.
I look to their commander. Who is he?
His name is Commander Roldo.
Is he,
He's looking a little bit nervous, to be honest.
I stride up to him.
He visibly takes a step back and swallows.
You have a choice to make.
Sir?
You can either fall in line with me and House Vallandor and confine my dear mother to quarters, or you can die.
Looks to his men. Looks back toward Isolde. I serve Vallandor, my lord.
And Vallandor is grateful.
Take the lady Isolde into custody. Isolde spits and fights and claws and bites and screams. No avail. They drag her forcibly from the Great Hall, and her voice echoing down the halls of Vallandor serenades her departure into your custody.
Is Golric there?
Golric is nowhere to be seen. However, It wouldn't take long to find him. You know where he'll be. In his quarters. In the Dreaming Water Garden. In a stable master's daughter. In his cups.
Is the bone
Take your
mother
pick.
still in the room?
She is.
Chanter will approach her and go to hold her hand.
She places her hand, and it's little more than a bundle of sticks wrapped in old paper in your hand.
When you brought Lord Vallandor to ask questions, are you able to do that again?
From Lord Vallandor?
No, I'd like to get some answers from Zira, and she'll look over at the lifeless body of her tiefling.
The unwilling may resist my demands. But if my will bests hers, she will answer my questions. You have questions for her? I will put them to her.
Thank you. I will owe you a great debt.
She looks around the chamber with its bodies and its blood and its newly installed lord standing by his great chair. I think all debts are paid this day. I will bring her to the chapel.
I will help the Bone Mother. Bring all the bodies to the chapel.
Same.
I order some of the men to help.
Okay. Yes, Lord.
I loot.
Comes their immediate response.
I give the Ghost Mother's blessings on each of the dead.
Okay.
Did I just become Lord? What happened?
All of a sudden.
While they do that, Chanter will actually begin to head to the gates, if she can.
Okay. There are bodies strewn throughout the courtyard. Those men who chose not to fight are already taking them to one side, throwing cloaks over them. There's a line of about a dozen or more, about half a dozen who were injured but not slain. Aldrich's men fought bravely to hold Ruthik at bay. It was the time that you needed.
Chanter will hold everyone's hand individually, one by one, and thank them. And for those who are still alive, she will give a hug to those who will have one, essentially.
They're surprised, reluctant, but eventually overcome by your generous heart. And you leave them, if we're not with smiles on their faces, at least with the hurt in their hearts somewhat eased.
She'll head to the chapel after that.
All right. Victory came swiftly for you, but victory it is. Aldrich, you find yourself almost immediately consumed by the duties of lordship. The dealing of the dead bodies, the manning of the gate, the day's provisions. It's dawn before you're even able to consider resting. Bellis, you and Talora spend the next couple of hours preparing Zura's body for questioning, the burial and funeral rites. Hagen, the orders of your new master await you, whatever he chooses those to be. Avel, just another banjolele song, man. And yet, things have changed for you, whether you're ready to accept it or not. While Shanta waits by Zura's body for her to cast the spell, Talora takes a moment. Jadarian, I said I would tell you of your mother.
Yes.
Kamanthalia came this way some years ago. She had sojourned in the northern districts of the Empire for some time, seeking lore and wisdom. What she found sent her here, on the edges of the Kashagareen. She sought a place called Gal Henoi, which means evergreen in the ancient tongue of the ancient elves from the cycle before this one, before man walked upon the earth, and the ancient Edelard made war against the Caltherin. Land from whence they came to found Ardminia. The elves who founded Ardminia went north from Gal Hanoi, but some went east into a forest that we now know as the Dead Forest, which was destroyed in the Crusade of Tears. When Kashigari fell, the elves who dwell there, we call the Ghost Elves. Pale creatures that inhabit this world and the next. But they are reputed to preserve much lore. An unliving dragon dwells with them. It is their wisdom she sought, in the company of her bodyguards and her half-elven daughter.
Her daughter?
You have a sister, Jadarian. A half-sister by your elven mother and a human father. Leaving you with the thought, she turns and walks to Zura's body. Shanta, you know which questions you would ask?
Think so.
She places her hands upon Zura Hallow's brow and whispers prayers to the Ghost Mother. Oh, okay. And despite her struggles and desire to remain as silent as the grave, Zura Hallow's shade is drawn forth, masking her face in a film of ectoplasm. Talora looks at you. Ask.
Why?
To gain the eye.
To something the eye? What was it?
To gain the eye.
To gain the eye. We already had the eye. Who needed it?
My true master.
You can see Chance's face is very torn, almost like you know that she's got two ones in her head of questions she's conflicted to ask.
Who?
You know him. You have called upon him. For he is your master also. The Prince of Demons, Demogorgon. And the three questions are asked. The shade recedes back into flesh and speaks no more.
Just see Chance becoming visibly shaky, distressed. And we'll probably look around to gauge people's reactions, see if they have any expression, if anyone took notice, essentially.
What did she mean by that?
I guess because we're tieflings. Don't know.
Are you all right, Chanta?
She'll kind of look up to respond, and words just won't come out of her mouth, and I will leave the room.
We follow her as she walks out of the chapel. A small figure, lost against the vastness of Vallandor. And the camera tracks away, showing Hagen watching her from the door. Behind him, Bone Mother Talora and Bellis staring at each other. The Bone Mother's eyes go down toward the hidden compartment where the eye of Kalax waits. Through the halls, we see Galric in the water garden, drinking from a bottle. When she throws against the ground, it shatters. He sinks his head into his hands and weeps. Up to where Avel watches him from a window, an unreadable expression on his face. And to the walls of the fortress, where Jadarian stares. To the south and the west, camera streaks across the desert. It becomes Badlands. The Badlands become mountains. Beyond the mountains, a forest of dead trees, like splinters thrusting from ashen earth. Spiderwebs hang between them. Pale, ghost-like forms move among them. Elven. One, ancient beyond reckoning. Little different to a corpse. Withered flesh, but eyes that gleam like starlight. Sits in a trance. In front of him, a young half-elven woman squats on the ground, staring at him, waiting for the trance to end. And when it does, he lifts his head and regards her with those starlit eyes. Elven falls from his lips. It is as I thought. He is coming. And he is not alone. Who? The girl asks. He holds a gaze for a long moment. Your brother. Roll credits.
I'm speechless. For once. What do you even say to that? What do you even say to that?
That was great.
Oh dear. Well. Well.
So, thank you for everyone who stuck around to watch that. Apologies for the technical issues. I'm afraid it's a recurring problem that we have because of our globally distributed broadcasting nature. But we will aim to keep the story flowing, so if you're a little bit patient with us, we will continue to do what we do. Thanks to everyone who's donated and stuck around and commented and interacted in chat. Thank you.
Yep. Cheers, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow for the one shot. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Another week.